Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a chief analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and this is daily analytical report. Let's start with the calendar. This is the calendar for today. Let me show you only the most important events that will or already happen on Wednesday. We had interest rate decision in Japan. Japanese yen is much weaker right now. Press conference statement. Interest rate decision, obviously we did not expect any changes, and that's the reaction. We do have that's the outcome of this, so no changes, and we do have a negative movement on the Japanese yen. We also had the data from UK. Half an hour ago we had inflation, which came much better than expectations, and retail price index as well, which came much better than expectations, and this is supporting the British pound. British pound is going higher. In 4 hours we'll have Mario Draghi speaking, and that would be it for today. On Thursday, GDP from New Zealand, actually overnight, so we can count that as today's data. And interest rate decision from Switzerland tomorrow in the morning in the European session. So that's it. Now we can start with the calendar. With the charts, British pound to Canadian dollar was having some serious troubles here, but you can see this reaction on the data. Price spiked from the daily lows to the daily highs. Why I told you that the price was having serious troubles? Look at this. The price created a double top formation on a horizontal resistance along with this downtrend line. So 1, 2, and the price had this, and then we broke the lower line of the flag formation, which actually gave us a sell signal. This sell signal is being denied right now. Hopefully nobody opened, there were no traders that opened short position here ahead of this important data, because it's a lottery to trade before the data. So hopefully nobody opened the position there. The thing is that, okay, the sell signal, this is this false breakout. The sell signal is cancelled, but there is no buy signal here yet. Buy signal will be triggered when the price will climb above the green area. As long as we are below, there is this rectangle, so no man's land. Sell signal will be triggered when the price will break those lows. By those lows I mean here and here. Yes, that will be the most important support right now. Price coming back below the gray area is a sell signal. Price climbing back above, well, not back, but price climbing above green area is a buy signal. Now New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar, that was a beautiful bounce 2 weeks ago, breakout, correction. That was also nice. Horizontal resistance tested yesterday, and this test resulted with a drop. I didn't open this position because we are far from the trend line. I would prefer to see the test of the trend line and this line, but okay, fair enough. There is still sell signal, not much to add here. Negative sentiment. We should see the further decline here. Euro to British pound, as you can see here, we had a breakout of the lower line of the pennant formation here. The price went to the horizontal support, bounced and went inside of the pennant. That should cancel the sell signal, but today's data brings us another attack on the horizontal support, and this horizontal support is very important. Now sellers try to defend this, buyers try to defend this support again, but in my opinion Well, they have a place for a defense, but in my opinion, price breaking this line will be a proper signal to go short, because yes, there was a nice drop, but we have a clear place where we can see a defense, so we know that that this one is a support. So if this one is a support, many traders have their stop loss orders underneath. So if those stop losses will be activated, we should see an acceleration of the movement. Now DAX finally crashed this horizontal resistance. Well, first they bounced from the long-term neckline, as you know. They crashed this resistance here, and now the price should aim the first dynamic resistance marked with a pink color. Another one is here. So the thing is that as long as we stay above the orange line, the midterm sentiment remains positive. Gold still cannot decide. Gold is in a sideways trend for the past, 1 month, let's say 1 month. It all started with the nice reversal, and if you forgot where we reversed, then let me remind you that this is the place, I'm sorry, this is the place where we reversed. Here, long-term uptrend line. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bearish months in a row. Now we're fighting for a bullish one. But buyers are struggling, really struggling. They are in a sideways trend. For the buy signal, we need to see the breakout of the upper pink line. For the sell signal, we need to see the breakout of the lower pink line along with the red line, because red line is the neckline for this double top formation. It's not a head and shoulder formation, it's more like 1, 2 double top formation. So price getting there would be a nice sell signal. British pound to Japanese yen. That's a proper buy, long-term buy. Recent upswing was quite strong, so maybe we'll have a bearish correction here. But everything looks decent. Maybe we'll have a correction here or here, but in the long term we should have a proper buy signal. Well, we do have a proper buy signal actually. British pound cable after breaking this midterm downtrend line aims higher again. Horizontal support breakout, higher. And now the most obvious target is on 38.2, which was a resistance 22nd of June and was a resistance on 10th of July. So the price getting there will be a proper is certain, and here any bearish formation will be an invitation to go short. Bitcoin bounced yesterday. I don't know if you should be happy with that if you own Bitcoin, because it does not change anything. So what is happening here? We are under the influence of this drop from the beginning of September, and since 6th of September we do have a sideways trend, which is a rectangle, and rectangle shows you a weakness of the losing side, because after a drop we should have a stronger correction. But if buyers chose to have a correction like a sideways trend, that's terrible. That's a bad sign. And the gravity of $5,800 is working. I think it's working, and soon we should see the breakout of the lower orange line and the test of this blue area. I see that with very, very high probability. In my opinion, we should get there relatively soon. A British pound to New Zealand dollar. Here is a double top formation. And we had this flag. We broke the lower line of this flag. I was hoping for the price to get to the yellow area. But instead of that, the major pattern here is the same as on Bitcoin. It's a rectangle. Okay. So if this rectangle after a drop promotes a further drop, then this rectangle after a rise promotes further rise, and this is what is happening here. As I said, I would prefer the price to test the yellow line. I would buy this pair there because it's a nice support, but they are very strong. So we'll see after the data from. Let me show you here data from overnight, so GDP from New Zealand. We'll see how this instrument will behave. Oil also, like gold, stuck in a sideways trend. Actually, interesting situation on those commodities is that gold, American dollar is weaker right now, and you can see that it does not influence the gold and oil much. Weaker dollar should help gold, should help oil, but the price on those two instruments is stuck in a sideways trend. So here it does not change much from our previous piece. The price is in a sideways trend, and the price created inverse head and shoulder pattern here and head and shoulder pattern here. So a breakout of those two lines, one of them is midterm uptrend line and one of them is neckline. Breakout of those two should give us a sell signal, and here the breakout of those two, which is a neckline of the inverse head and shoulder formation and the upper line of the symmetric triangle. Breakout here, the price getting here will be a nice buy signal. Australian dollar to Japanese yen, my scenario is happening right now. As you can see, I marked this line 4 days ago that I'm looking for this scenario to happen, and it's happening. So we are testing the midterm downtrend line. Actually, long-term downtrend line, which is with us since January. And that line, price getting to this line, is a nice occasion to go short. But there is also this horizontal resistance. Most probably they would like to test it first. Then maybe a bounce, then maybe a right shoulder. I would go for this and a breakout. We'll see what will happen here. But that looks interesting. Actually, that drop, if we consider this line as a proper support, resistance, it should be a support now. So that would be the best scenario here. S&P 500, another example of this false breakout that is beautiful because traders on American indexes, they love false breakouts, they love V-shaped reversals. V-shaped reversals were performed many times here, 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 here. That's just the characteristic of the stock trading. The price is cheap, so everybody's buying. Well, cheap. We are close to the all-time high, so cheap is a relative word. It has a different meaning right now. Maybe in 2013 it was cheap, now it's rather not. With this kind of a setup, we are waiting for the breakout of the upper blue line. That is my outlook on this instrument. Euro to Japanese yen, proper, legitimate, strong buy signal. Downswing correction, downswing, most probably an upswing. What we have here is a flag, that's a new trend, uptrend, correction, uptrend. And that's a weekly chart. Though that is a double bottom formation on a long-term horizontal support, which is a proper buy signal. Also on a weekly chart, the price created almost a evening star. Almost. It's not the best technical evening star on the record, but it's still good. There is those two shooting stars which got denied last week, and this week now proves the positive sentiment on this instrument. So now the price is resistance, resistance, support, resistance, resistance. The price is on a weekly resistance. We will see what will happen here, but it all looks promising. It looks promising for the buyers, even despite this high here. Maybe first, before going higher, the price will make a small correction and then go higher. But in overall, we do have a positive sentiment on Euro to Japanese yen. Positive sentiment there, but negative sentiment here. That is American dollar to Canadian dollar, where we do have a perfect example of the false breakout pattern. So look at this. Upswing, correction, upswing, correction, upswing, correction, upswing. But this upswing was apparently a false breakout. That was a false breakout from the upper line of the flag and channel down formation, depending from which time frame are you looking at. So that is a false breakout above this line, above this horizontal resistance, which was later used as support, but then, so we know it's legitimate. But then the price came back inside. That triggers a false breakout pattern, and in false breakout patterns, usually there is movement in the opposite direction. That's what we see now. Also, the price came back inside of the channel down formation and already used that upper line as a resistance. Also, those black lines here is a flag, downswing, flag, downswing. So yesterday we broke the lower line of the flag sell signal, we broke the lower, the midterm uptrend line sell signal. So the price getting there was a proper sell signal yesterday, and now we can see why, because the price is going lower. That is a horizontal resistance now, but the overall long-term sentiment for the American dollar to Canadian dollar is definitely negative. Australian dollar to American dollar, but here we do have a nice bullish situation. So what we have here is a left shoulder, there is a head, there is a right shoulder. We broke, most recently we broke the neckline here. This yellow area is a neckline, and we broke the midterm downtrend line here, which connects lower highs since August, since the beginning of the August. So that was a combination of two strong resistances, and it didn't stop the buyers. Fair enough. So we do have a nice buy signal. Where is our target? Our target is on the line which connects 4 lower highs from February, from March, from April, and from June. Maybe you would prefer this line, but fair enough. We have highs from January, June, and August. So that is our target. That is our first target. That is our second target. But the short-term sentiment on this instrument is positive. American dollar to Japanese yen, we had a chance for a false breakout pattern. It didn't work out. Fair enough, as they say, if the price does not want to go down, it most probably will go up. As long as we stay above the yellow area, there is a buy signal here on this instrument. Now silver, you can see silver past 3 weeks locked inside of a sideways trend. The same thing is happening with the gold, so no surprise here. Even if the price will go through this downtrend line, it will mean nothing, because the breakout would be meaningful if the price went significantly higher. But if the price would just break it like by moving sideways, no, I don't buy it. For me, it will not be a legitimate. Price will be just pushed there, so it won't be a proper buy signal. So don't get overly excited by the price breaking this line on silver. Gold, euro dollar, yeah, euro almost like gold. So what we are having here is many lines. Maybe I will make it more clear for you. And I will leave only those lines that counts. And the line what counts is this horizontal support. Is this obviously, but I don't want to have too much lines. And the 38.2. So the price closing a day above the 38.2 would be a proper buy signal. But watch out, it happened here twice or 3 times. So also keep in mind this resistance, because it may work. So price closing today above 38.2, okay, fair enough, that will be a first step, but the proper buy signal will be triggered when the price will go above the gray area. American dollar to Swiss franc. What we have here is a comeback. Swiss franc is losing right now. That can be considered as a false breakout. If this pair will close a day above the yellow area, and most possibly above the midterm downtrend line here marked with a blue color, that will be a nice buying opportunity. So let's make a short recap here. British pound to Canadian dollar, there was a proper sell signal, but data changed this, and breakout of the green line buy, breakout of the gray line sell. New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar still sell. Euro to British pound, price getting to the blue line sell. DAX short term buy. Gold sideways trend, we need to see the breakout of either of those 2 lines. British pound to Japanese yen, that is buy. British pound to American dollar, that is buy. Bitcoin, that is sell. British pound to New Zealand dollar, that is a sideways trend, so no signal, but the breakout of the upper orange line would be much better from the technical point of view. Oil, waiting for the signal. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Price is on an important resistance, so I wouldn't buy, but the sentiment is okay. S&P 500 heading for new all-time highs. Euro Japanese yen buy. American dollar Canadian dollar sell. Australian dollar to American dollar buy. American dollar Japanese yen buy. Silver, no signal whatsoever. Euro dollar, possibly a nice buy, but not now. American dollar to Swiss franc, that is a buy if the price will finish a day above the yellow area. So as you can see, we have some occasions, we have few occasions, you just have to be patient. Now we have a short break, and after this we'll have a webinar about MetaTrader 4. I hope you'll all attend this webinar to learn this platform. Thanks very much, guys, for today. See you on the webinar about MetaTrader 4, and see you tomorrow on another daily analytical report. All the best.